Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to AJF Workout. Today I'm going to show you a couple different clips of some of the training runs that I've done in the month of June. I plan on putting one of these out over the next 4 months, so one in June, July, August, and then September. My half marathon is in September. I've had some thoughts as I've been running and some great times, some really hard times, and just some things that I want to share along my training process. So this is the video for June, and enjoy. Just finished a 3-mile run. This is my 4th week of training, officially. So I took a month off, 5 or 6 weeks. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Month of April, my plan was to run 1 mile every single day, just to get myself into the running, into the habit of it. And then I sprained my rib. So I had 6 weeks where I did not do any running, any cardio. I took walks, no strength training, so it was very, very sedentary compared to what I'm normally doing. So I was planning on the month of April prepping me for training in May, and that didn't happen. And actually it was probably about 3 weeks into May until I could start training. So actually I believe this is my 3rd week of training. I created a training program that was 20 weeks long. It was supposed to start May 1st. Skipping those first 3 weeks, we picked up at week 4. So now it's going to be, what is that? Oh, the sweat in my eyeballs. It's so hot today. Now it's going to be 17 weeks long. And I had myself starting at 1 mile 3 times the week. I think I ended with 2 that week. And I'm now up to 3. My planned runs this week were 3 2s. I'm pretty proud that I'm at 3. And I just want to say that as somebody who, I've talked about this, but as somebody who hates running, I really don't enjoy it. I'm hoping that maybe changes over the next 17 weeks. But as somebody who doesn't enjoy it, I start every single run thinking I'm not going to go as far as I plan to. I know that's not necessarily the right mindset to have, but that's where I'm at. That's what I've been doing. I've just been doubting myself. And even halfway through the run, I'm doubting myself. I hit 1.5 miles and I'm like, I can't believe I'm only halfway done. But every run, I've been pushing myself to get there, and I'm shocked by myself and impressed by myself every single time. If you're setting a goal and doing something that you think is impossible, and every time you start it, you think you're not going to do it, fight through it, push through it. It is so worth it. I plan on documenting training through my half marathon. And I think the way that I'm going to do it is kind of like today, where if I have a thought or something that I want to share, or a run that is just so hard, or a run that I just like feel great and want to share how great it was, that I will sit down and talk about it in a form like this. I'll put the miles that I ran that day, where I'm at in my training, and then we can be on this journey together. We can watch how my mood goes up and down, because I don't only want to whip out the camera when I'm feeling really good about my runs and about myself and about my training. I want to pick it up and film on the really hard days to show that you can push through those really hard days. Right now I'm doing 3 runs a week. I might increase it to 4 down the road, but right now just 3 runs a week. So I've done 3 miles on Tuesday this week, 3 miles today. Today's Thursday, so I'm really proud. I'm going for either 3 or 4 on Saturday. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it was a 2-2-2 week, so I've already surpassed that. I already feel good. So if I just do 3 miles on Saturday, I will be happy with that. But if I can kick it up to 4, I will. And I also want to say something else that I thought of in the midst of my run today, and I think I've thought this every single run, is that I can't imagine having to go 5, 6, 7, 13 miles. I can't imagine it. In my mind, I'm like, you're never going to get there. I picture myself on race day, and I'm like, I can't picture myself on race day. And I think that it's just so important to take little steps when you're building a habit, or when you're training for something, or when you set a goal. It's just these tiny little steps. I'm not putting the pressure on myself if I hit 2.5 on a day instead of 3, or maybe I was supposed to run 2. So this happened a couple times last week where I was supposed to run 2. I did 2.25, and then I did 2.5. And so I've built my way up to 3. I didn't just go from like 1 mile to 3 miles. And granted, it has only been 3 weeks. Everybody's pace is different. It doesn't mean anything. I could get stuck here at 3 miles and have a really hard time getting to 4. You never know what's going to happen. But it's important to set those teeny tiny little goals. 1 step at a time, you will get there. But I just wanted to share those 2 things. So 1, push through. When you feel you can't do it, when you're talking negatively to yourself, just push through. You're going to feel so good at the end. And 2, take tiny little baby steps to get to your goal, to get to where you want to be. It doesn't have to be a whole mile at a time. It doesn't have to be this whole big shift at a time. It doesn't have to be completely cutting something out cold turkey at a time. It's cutting it out once and being proud of yourself for doing that, or adding another quarter mile and being proud of myself for doing that, a tenth of a mile and being proud of myself for doing that. You know, you can take these little tiny steps to get up to where you want to be. All right, I'm gonna stretch, cool down, grab some water. I'm dying of thirst, and yeah, I'll catch you next time after either a really great or a really terrible run. All right, it's been at least 1 week, maybe 2, since I recorded after a run. I was starting to think I was never gonna have an original thought, or nothing was gonna be too easy, too hard. Of course, right when you think that. So today my goal was to run 4 miles, and I was really anxious about it all morning because I have done one 4-miler, but it was when I wasn't planning on it. And so I feel like if you're planning on it and you don't hit it, it feels worse than if you're not planning on it and you do hit it. So I was anxious. And 0.86 miles in, I started to have an existential crisis. I almost started crying. I didn't, but not that there would have been anything wrong with that. I fully anticipate crying on a run at some point here. But I started freaking out that I shouldn't have signed up for this. I shouldn't have put it out there on the internet that I was gonna do this. And I was never gonna be able to run 13 miles. I was like 0.8, I'm not even a mile into my run today, and I can't imagine adding 12 more to this. And so for the next half mile, I freaked out. And then 1.3 miles in, I was like, okay, you just had your freak out. You might be running a little bit slower than normal, totally fine. I took 3 really deep breaths where I literally just shut my brain off, thought about the 3 breaths, tried to focus in on my podcast that I was listening to, focused in on that, and I made it. I did 4 miles. Like I said, after that half mile of freaking out, it just clicked. It was okay. And I know I've said this before. I've said this on like a 2-mile run, a 3-mile run. I keep having these self-doubts and I keep pushing through, and it just feels really good. I'm hoping eventually I stop these self-doubts. We'll see, because it really makes the first mile really hard. I really have such a hard time getting over that hump of the first mile, mile and a half every time, but I did it. I'm very proud, I'm very happy, and I just wanted to share that. It might be miserable, it might be hard. We grow in the hard, we grow when we push. So 4 miles today. I don't know what week we're in, but I'll have it on the screen, and we're doing it. I'm gonna be gone this weekend, so I wanted to make sure I got a longer run in today. It is Wednesday, and yeah, I might get a run in this weekend, but we'll see. I'm gonna be away. Yeah, just wanted to share that. Made it. All right, I just finished my first 5-mile run of this training. It has been my longest run so far, and thankfully not my hardest. I did a 4-mile the other day that was just like brutal. Today's was after a full weekend of just debauchery. We had Eric's brother in town and his fiance, and we just did a lot of drinking, a lot of eating. So I'm coming off a full 5 pounds heavier than I normally am, very bloated, holding onto water. I did it. I did 5 miles. I'm probably gonna have one more run in the month of June. July starts on Thursday, so I will conclude this little half marathon run vlog for June probably today, and then I'll pick up July on Thursday. So the runs are getting a little bit longer. The longest I've ever run in my life is about 6 miles. So once we start breaking the 6 miles, we're gonna be running distances I've never done ever in my life. 5 miles, I've probably only done a handful of times, not that much. So I feel very accomplished. I'm not even gonna say pretty, I feel very accomplished. So biggest thing I learned this month, biggest thing I've reinforced this month, because I've always known this, but running is so mental. It is such a push to fight through the monotony at times. I've found that, especially on the longer runs, a podcast keeps me more engaged, more, focused, less bored. And so that's kind of what I'm planning on sticking with for my long runs. The shorter runs, sometimes music just hypes me up for the couple miles that I'm doing. I keep forgetting where to look at the camera. It's up there. But yeah, June training is done. I also realized today that I've only ever really run when I get the urge to do so and I really feel like it. So they've always been just pretty great runs. And without having this set plan of training, there's no way I would ever run this much. I like that it's pushing me in that way. You know, I've talked about how I'm doing this half marathon because I want to push myself actively in a way that is actually pushing myself, because as much as I sometimes have to push myself through a strength workout or any of the other kind of workouts that I like doing, circuit training, boxing, I love doing that. Like, I want to push through it. A run is something I don't want to push through. So it's definitely giving me that experience of, you know, if you're somebody who just working out isn't something that you necessarily enjoy, but you want to do it to improve your health, feel better, be stronger, what have you, I feel you. I'm relating to you right now as I'm pushing through these runs and, you know, coming out for a run today when that's definitely not what I would have preferred to do this morning. I think for the month of July and August, when I do these half marathon vlogs, I'm going to maybe try to find a little bit more structure. June was just really, I was like, oh, I'll just pick up the camera every time I have a thought or whatever, and I feel like I end up rambling a lot. So maybe I'll try to be a little bit more concise in my July and August vlogs, and then September, because the half marathon is September 19th, so I'll do a whole one leading up to it for those last couple weeks as well. But if you have any ideas or anything you want to know about the runs in the next couple of vlogs, then leave those down below. Maybe it'll just give me a little bit more structure, a little bit more idea of what to do. I won't just pick up the camera and talk for 10 minutes when I have a good run or a bad run. One other big thing I learned is how important it is to stretch my ankles before I run. They were very sore already a mile in today, and I definitely did not do anything to stretch them before I left, which was stupid. So I'm gonna stretch, cool down, and like I said, I have one more run in June, but I just probably won't record it because it's like 2 days from now, and I'm not expecting it to be much different. So yeah, 5 miles done today. I'm gonna go stretch, drink some coffee. I saved my coffee for after my run, so super pumped to just go drink some coffee and stretch. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, enjoyed following me along through the first full month of my training, and I will see you guys in the July, August, and September running vlogs.